I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Welcome back, Powerheads. Here we are with the season finale of the Power Watch, episode 10 of the very first season of Force, where Tommy gets it in. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit on the dry side right about now because there's nothing left in the house. You know how that goes. You're on the streak. You guys taking something, right? What you got?
Hello, Glass. Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon. What you got, son? What's up, Vincenzo?
You got me another rock, I'm afraid, but it's my old faithful.
He's out of control. So it's your boy Warhol back. It's E. It's Invisible. We're about ready to get it in. The whole thing starts off with some threats back and forth. There's some finger pointing between Vic and Tommy as Tommy's rolling around the city. He rolls up and on Merkovich, and Merkovich is up there with his posse. He's like, yo, you got to tell me what these people who put out a hit on me. We need to find out who they are. And he was like, yeah, I can get you anything you need. And speaking of which, he's got the little layout for him, doesn't he? The little charcuterie of guns and grenades and stuff.
Yep.
Little pack of some C4 to the door, no beef no more.
It reminded me of that scene out of
Boondock Saints?
No.
Oh, I love the Boondock Saints.
Keanu Reeves. Why can't I think of
The Matrix.
That's no gangster movie.
No, when he was the assassin.
John Wick.
Yes.
It reminded me of when he walked into the to the thing, and they just had like all the different guns and everything.
Man, yeah, it was pretty stocked up in there. So he's explaining. He's like, okay, so you need to translate something for me. You need to translate that, you're their leader, but I'm the general right now, and they got to follow my instructions because we can get this done. And so Merkovich is like, blah, 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 and all this Serbian accent. And Tommy's like, look, see, this is what I'm talking about. And then he's like, well, what I told him to do is follow your lead unless you betray me and then kill you. He's like, I know that. So he's like, yeah, he's about to roll out the warehouse and say, we could have been friends in another life. So I don't know if that's the Tommy charm or what he's trying to say, but whatever. I mean, this episode is just on the poppin'. We're not going to get into the funny yet, but it is the funniest episode ever of Power, in my opinion. So meanwhile, we go out there and we get to the barbershop. And there's a call. Who's on the phone? But Adrian and your boy Diamond are sitting there getting lovey-dovey. That's what she's trying to. But he's occupied.
Obviously, Jannard called him and was like, oh, man, you at the shop right now? Well, Jannard didn't know that Diamond overheard the conversation last episode about him taking over. So as soon as he said that, he said, oh, okay, I know exactly what this is. We got to go now. He's like, because he knew that the shooter was around the corner.
Yeah, and she's never been in those situations like that. You can tell. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? And then so they rush out the door and they get ready to pull off, but then the truck comes around the corner. So he said, chill, just lay low. 3 all in black figures approach the barbershop, and we got somebody with some braids in his hair. Who is that?
And we already know, same dude that Jannard was having a conversation with before. They knew that they set the plan up last episode.
Yep, blasted. And they bust in the door, and what do they find?
Nothing. Butt naked in there.
Nothing. Then your boy peels out, and she's like, what would you have done if I wasn't here? And he said, you already know.
Exactly. He's like, you already know what I would have done.
I didn't go to jail for selling anthrax in the mail. Meanwhile, so Tommy's back to the spot again. He grabs the 2 soldiers with him. He said, "Is your best man suspect?" So they get to the back of the bar. What's going on in the bar, man?
Man, it's like you said, it's the 4 Horsemen. It's Vic, and then there's a random little blonde that's rolling around in there.
Yeah,
I wonder who she was friends with.
Steph as in stuff lover, as in what's that other stuff we know? Superhead. And that's coming into play. She leaves one of the dudes looking like Earl Flynn in the back. They're at the back of the bar. I want to get a little taste of the homeland.
It's magically delicious.
So she commits to performing some brain surgery. And next thing you know, your boy comes popping up over the rail. Who is it?
Tommy.
With the garrote. And he's slicing his neck like nobody's business.
Hey, next up, the Headless Horsemen.
Your boy, he said, send a message. So they string him up like a stuck pig, bleed him out and whatnot. And your boys show up. Walter Flynn is hot. He's upset. What were you guys doing here in the first place?
Like you're here to be the 4 Horsemen, be some soldiers, and now all of a sudden you guys are out drinking at a bar, going and chasing strange pussy.
There you go. And looks like he's already been stripped of his title. He said, I want you to leave. And now he's like, now you need to sit down. I'm taking over. What came up next?
So then Tommy texts Claudia about meeting at the lab. And she was going to tell everybody what was going on, but Flynn was pissed off and he was wanting to take over control. And he told her to basically shut up.
So basically he's bringing her up and then he's smashing her down. But I think he's feeling a little hostile at this point. And Tommy's like, it's time to re-up. So he's trying to get back some words from her. And she doesn't say anything at first. She's a little crickety with it because she hasn't been able to elaborate on the plan to die in the Four Horsemen. So then we're back at the hospital and D-Mac is up in there, and JP's apologizing to him. He's saying, I should have been there more for you. And this confuses me at this point. JP, ever since we met him, has always been talking about he's always been trying to find his son. And so how's he going to be in his life if he doesn't know where he is? So I'm trying to figure out why is he apologizing?
I think it's a combination of one, not knowing, but then two, not putting a lot of effort into it. Or maybe just being intentionally naive to the fact that the same little kid that's shooting up your club every single day could be your son that's pissed off that, you
can recognize him on sight after 10 years. and a gang of dreads.
Exactly.
So JP relax over there. But then he's hype again because Tommy walks in with the care package with all the nutritional substances that everyone would need, including the fold-up toothbrush, the moon pies, and the Cheetos. Now, personally, I was upset because he didn't say fire Cheetos, but so your boy is like upset with him, and he's like, he's my nephew too. And I hope you guys I bought a T-shirt. I hope you guys like the Cubs. And then JP was like, oh, so you trying to get me killed there too? Chicago, not all of Chicago loves the Cubs, I guess.
I think it's the color, blue and red, Crips and Blood. You walk around in a bunch of blue.
Chicago's like that too. Oh, wait, well, maybe so. All right, that could be it. JP is like, you got to go ahead and get to the house because they need some hospital records up here so they can figure some things to do with D-Mac. Tommy, I'm a little bit busy right now. And JP is like, so am I, because he's still got his mat on. So Tommy backs off a little bit. Now, he's rolling up in the house. It seems to be some damage. He says, crackheads. Damn them. So he goes around the corner. Who's he
mother? Oh, God, his mom.
Okay.
Horrible.
And of course, she thinks he's dead right now. So she's bugging out. And she said, I should have known. And then so he's like, what do you want here, Mom? You trying to get some money? I'll give you a little hint. He's broke. She's like, no, that's not it. And then so she sparks up her cigarette and whatnot. And he's like, you can't smoke in here? And she's like, that bitch used to smoke 4 packs a day. Now we get a little clue as to the inheritance of dysfunction.
Yes.
Apparently, Miriam was really a bitch. And Tommy feels that Kate is a bitch. So it's just passed down and down and down. She's like, okay, so what are you doing now? It's like, you already killed one brother. You trying to kill another brother? And then he's like, oh. And then so that's his first shade moment. He's like, oh, okay. I'm going to add a mother to the mix if you want. So it's just straight comedy.
Apparently she was smoking 4 packs a day and hiding money in the wall. So
yes. So that could have been exaggerated, huh? Because she put some holes in the walls and I didn't see any bills anywhere. He rips out the big roll. He's like, just get out of here, Mom. This is what you came for. And then so she's like, no, I want to see my son. And then so he's like, oh yeah? He's like, well, he's in the hospital. She's like, what? Is he okay? He said, yeah. He's in there with his son. I got a grandson. So she's just completely bugging off the loop. And she's like, I want to meet him. So they're about to roll out there, and Tommy's like, I gotta go handle some stuff right now because, but he forgot the mission. He was supposed to get the hospital records. So he's rolling out of there without the hospital records. And your girl Kate just happens to reach over the table and still scoop up that roll of bills. Nothing ain't changed.
Is it?
All right.
Once again, though, it's a powerism. There ain't no way JP could be Kate's son. There ain't no way.
Yeah, then.
No.
The gene for black phenotypic expression is genetically dominant. So you're going to see, in most cases, 99% of the time, you're going to see more cases of black features in a mixed couple, a child of a mixed couple.
Yeah, there ain't no chance that JP is half anything. It's a powerism. It's okay. It works, but
no, bro. Reality. There's dark-skinned kids come from a white man and a black woman, or vice versa. That does happen.
I haven't seen him, but okay.
Come see my pops, but he's above. He's at the Golden Shores right now, so you got to check into the Golden Shores before you see him.
Yeah, I'll take my time.
It's a good place to be when it's time to be there.
When it's time to be there.
Next thing you know, what we see is your boy Diamond, and he's in the garage setting that we talked about last week with the coming attractions. He's dragging that baseball bat, and we all know the refrain. And you got to join in too, Dill. 1, 2, 3.
Warriors, come out to play.
He's over there with Blackston, and Blackston has 3 cheekbones now, 6 eyelids, and busted tooth. He spits out his tooth for all this is going on there, and he's like, bam, he hits him in the ribs, and he's like, now you can't breathe. And then
because he collapsed his lung.
Yeah, right. And then now he's like, oh, you's a bitch. And he's like, really? Wham! And then he breaks his leg. So now he's ready to talk, even though it's gonna be still he's popping shit. He talks shit. He's like, you a bitch, you got soft. And then so he's like, whatever. Just tell me who did it. I'm just waiting to hear it because I already know. And he finally spits it out, Jannar. He's like, cause you got soft. And he was like, he said, you done with dropping bodies? He said, well, really? Now he's got 3 cheekbones, 6 legs, 5 lips, and a 3rd eye.
And the extra hole. Yep.
There you go. So now you can see everything. So then Jannar is trying to find him. He's calling all around. It's like, what's wrong with you, man? Why don't you answer my call? Why don't you answer my call? So then he pulls around with his fly-ass Porsche truck with a smoked-out exterior covering, comes in, drives into, looks like a living room, but it's not really a living room. He gets further in. Guess who's coming to dinner? Blackston.
Yeah, he's laid up on the table.
Laid up on the table, ready to be served. Oh, wait a minute. He already got served. Meanwhile, your boy is shitting bricks. You might as well call him Brixton now.
Because he knows it's a wrap for him.
Yeah, man. Because, he's saying he flew the fight and all that shit. He got his ass whipped legitimately. He was just trying to front in front of your boy back then. Dude didn't take a trip to the pen for 15 years and learn how to play tiddlywinks or whatnot.
Did not.
Maybe bones, but maybe breaking bones. All right, so moving forward, your boy's running around like crazy. So they go to the hospital. Kate walks in and JP's like, what are you doing here? And Kate was like, and Tommy was like, and she's like, hi. And then he hugs her. First though, it was hilarious. Hilarious moment number 6, because that whole Kate and Tommy thing was just going crazy. But he puts his hand right around here, and she's like, "Gonna jump me," and
exactly.
And then so she said, "My baby," and I was like, "Oh, really, my baby?" And then so she waves her finger at Tommy, second of shame moment, and she waves her finger. And she says, "That's how you treat your mother." And then JP is like, "Where's the envelope?" And then your boy's like, "Oh, Kate made me forget." And then so they're about to roll out, and Kate is like, I want to talk to my grandson. I want to talk to my grandson. Oh, he doesn't look much like me at all. Well, maybe a little bit. Tommy's head is down again. So just coming back at her hard. They're walking out the hospital room, and he's like, no, you can't see him now. He has to rest. But I think you need to maybe explain to your son where you've been since you left him at 2 days old. You got some explaining to do. The old Ricky Ricardo line.
I was going to say, the old Ricky Ricardo.
To the redhead at that.
You got some explaining to do. Say, you got some explaining to do. You got some explaining to do.
There is something here that needs explaining.
What needs explaining?
And D-Mac's like, hey, Uncle Tommy, what's that kid, that old white bitch up in that hallway? Who is that? And he said, that's your grandmother. And he's like, I got an old white bitch for a grandmother? That's right. And I want you to use that term every time you talk to her. She loves it.
Yeah, so man, this is straight comedy, man. This was rolling on the floor in this episode. All of a sudden, the crew is back together. They're down one horseman. Flyn is popping off and shit. Your girl, Claudia, is like, I just got word from my people at the club that Tommy is making Dahlia and he's distributing it. And he's going to be meeting with them at a secret lab where he makes it. And here's your address. So he gets some good girl moments. I sold my cookies, daddy. He's like, oh, see, now that's how you do things. So now the horsemen, they all loaded up and whatnot. and they got what we like to call in the business chum. Those bloody stuff in the water and let the sharks go after it, and then you do what you will with the sharks. So they had 3 or 4 extra guys, and they sent them right ahead, and of course they got smoked in the 4 Horsemen.
Real quick, yeah. But if you caught Tommy though, Tommy said, that was too easy. He's like, there's gonna be some more coming.
Yep, so the 4 Horsemen come rolling in there. And as I mentioned before, suspect with your top 2 guys because they get killed almost immediately. I think they took one of the chum guys out, and the chum guys are chum. So it's like, you're not really doing anything here, and now you're dead. So basically, it's down. Tommy's doing his thing, and he's shooting down a bunch of cats, and basically the 4 Horsemen are catching L's. Now there's 1 Horseman lone, and he's sitting up there with Vic, but he remembers something that Walter Flynn told him. He said, "You best bring back my son no matter what."
He was like, nope, he grabbed him and was like, we gotta go.
Yeah, so he got to get him out of there. And he probably would have gone out on his sword and got killed by Tommy anyway. But basically what happened is he saved his life and Vic's life by having to take care of Vic, like the baby. And he's like, "You're not the son of your father. Your father and I were fighting the entire British army," exaggerate much, "fighting the entire British army in Belfast. And who are you? What do you do? You can't even kill 1 rat." Everybody's upset back in the spot again. And your boy is starting to think, okay, well, maybe I got set up. Lone did. So he goes and starts talking to Claudia on the side. And so he's like, what's going on with that? And then so she's like, "Look, I am involved with that Dahlia stuff, but this is what's going on. My dad is getting a little weak. And so we know that the receipts are coming down. We're not making as much profit as we did, but this is about to take over the world." And she gives him a little snort. And of course, rainbows and waterfalls run through my mind. Once we get this all straight, I'm going to give you the exclusive pipeline. If you put in a good word for the Kingmakers back in the homeland to make me go ahead and be the successor, then you got the rights to the European distribution. You look like a little charming schoolgirl, but you're a serpent. And of course, he's sprung out. And she's like, you're not my type. All right, so now your boy Gennard, he is scrambling. He's like shitting bricks, popping sweats. He goes over to your boy Merkovich's spot, which is this big ass cement garage where he's just basically target shooting, getting ready for the war that's coming up. And Gennard rolls up and he's like, "Hey man, let's talk." And so he's like, "You took my pipeline and you killed a bunch of my soldiers." "No, that wasn't me. That was Tommy and my brother Vic. It wasn't me. I was no part of that." So he's like, "Okay, so we took your pipeline. So how about this? We're trying to get Tommy. And Tommy is the one of the guys that killed your men. So if you withdraw your support for Tommy, then we will give you back the pipeline, plus this little interest pocket we've been building up." Him and Diamond had agreed they were going to put some money aside for the service, and they came back to get their territory.
It was contingent on Gennard being able to get Flynn to call off the war between Flynn and the Serbs. Yep.
So Merkovich is like, "Okay, deal. All right." So he's on his mission. He's half down, when to go. So he goes over to Flynn's house, and everybody's looking at him like he's some dirt on the shoe, even before he fesses up to some stuff. And he didn't even fess up. He just got caught in a lie. So they're all talking. Flynn is like, "Okay, so you're saying you are broken a peace with us and the Serbs. What does Diamond think about that?" Blank expressions. And Vic just pulls it out of the air, didn't he?
He was like, "Oh, so you just made a move on your brother."
and he didn't deny it. And then everybody's calling him scumbag and all that stuff. They're like riding him and whatnot. And then he's like, "Okay, well, all that may be true, but there's been a lot of bloodshed and on both sides. And it's you want to do something about it and get Tommy." Of course, Flynn is like, that sounds like all I wanted all along.
Because it's the last piece of the puzzle. Tommy getting killed is the last piece of the puzzle because he got Gloria killed. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, he got Gloria killed.
Meanwhile, JP's going back to the spot to get the envelope. Claudia's waiting on him. Now, this makes 0 sense to me. Basically, what happens is Liliana gives a big slab of money to the doc. She's like, "Get out of here." And the doc really, she likes her current environment, doesn't she? She don't want to lay down. Yeah, but she's like, "Look, you ain't built for war. You got to get out of here." But she doesn't really think like a strategist like Tommy and his predecessor Ghost. She's just like, "Here, get the money and go."
Tommy asked her, "Did you get her out of town?" And she was like, "No, I just gave her the money and told her to leave."
And he's like, "She's going to be needed by Claudia. What are you doing?" So sure enough, Claudia scoops her up. How did they find out how to intercept the limo that was going to pick old girl up, the car. I don't know how they worked that. Maybe it's a powerism, who knows? She's like, don't kill me. I just want to be out of this. And she's like, I'm not going to kill you as long as you tell me what's Tommy's weakness. Now, she can say it's Tommy's weakness, but here's another powerism, because we just coming down like dealing powerisms out. How the hell does the doc know JP's address?
Yeah, that I don't know. But, well, it's probably easy to find, though, just because they just didn't know that the two of them were brothers.
JP moved into Miriam's house after Miriam got sick. So he may not have even changed his address yet. So it was
powerism.
Yes, they kidnap him. And then Claudia calls him. He's like, you want your brother back? You know, you had to come with it. And then Vic is chiming in also, I'm going to get you for glory. And Gennard's like, yeah. And then he's like, see what I did just there, Gennard? I got all you guys together in one room. So I was like, okay. And meanwhile, JP wasn't there. Y'all be blown straight to hell. So then they're like, you better come in 2 hours to the asphalt park. You better come and you're going to exchange your life for JP's. He goes back to Diamond. Diamond, he comes to find out that CBI had some role in the drive-by. And then Diamond's like, man, I got no beef with you. And he said, I know that. I said, you always been straight up with me. So I'm figuring you're not calling the shots anymore. And meanwhile, we got a common enemy here in Gennard. And, I got this meat. So we got to do something about it. They go technical. They got the young GPS map laid out on the table. And they got like circular stuff. And he's like, Diamond's like, this is where we used to play when we were kids. There's a lot of hiding spaces and all this stuff. Lillian at this point was like, well, no, that's they also know these situations too. They're kind of scoping it out. He's like, nah. The reason why they picked this location is that nobody can hear the gunshots. And that's it. We don't know nothing about that. Now, another powerism, guess who does know something about that? We played there when we were kids.
Yeah, Gennard there. Yeah, so Gennard knows, yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and set it up. And they said, well, we got one problem. All right, if you don't show up, then they're going to kill JP. And if you do show up, then they're going to kill you. So they're like, okay, we're going to work it out. When they show up, when there's the big standoff and whatnot, Tommy's out there, Vic's out there, the soldiers out there, maybe one horseman.
Yeah, the shooters from CBI were out there.
Right. Yep. So then Gennard had been with, but they weren't fully informed of some of the things that was...
What was going on, exactly.
All of a sudden, it's like, where is he? And Diamond pops out from behind a bulldozer with his gun to Tommy's head. And he's like, I got him. I caught him trying to leave town. Vic is like, kill them all! And Walter's like, hold up. If I wanted Diamond dead, he'd be dead already. And that was kind of weird for me. I was like, they must have some kind of thing where mutual admiration or something. So even though they hate each other, they also like each other. So he lets him say his piece and whatnot. Gennard over there, he sold me out. He tried to kill me already. He's trying to split CBI. And a couple of the CBI soldiers are bugging. They're like, what the hell? Walter's like, okay, Gennard, because remember earlier, he said to Vic, he's like, let these animals tear each other apart. Don't get involved in family business. You'll just create a war. So he said, okay, Gennard, what you gonna do about this? I thought you had this handled. He said, I do. And he was about to pop one in Diamond and Tommy. But then the CBI smacked the gun out of him, and it was like a big kind of like conflict with that. So everybody's running around. Your boys on the loose. Tommy and Diamond are popping shots at everybody, and they're running. And guess who's sneaking out of the truck? Lilli. There you go. And she's popping and catching everybody from behind. And boom, pap. Guess what? There goes the European connection.
The last horseman, he's dead.
The last horseman is dead. Then, it's like she still has the gun and she's still behind the whole Flynn crew. And at this point in time, Claudia feels she has no choice. And she pops one at Lilliana. And that's our girl.
She had to.
But damn, I'd rather see Claudia dead.
Agreed, but she had to. If Claudia's dead, then there's no season 2. Season 2 doesn't work very well without Claudia involved in it, considering how she kind of masterminded this entire situation.
Yep. She's like falling on the ground. She's calling out for Tommy, but Tommy's not free yet. Diamond catches up to Gennard, and he's like, okay, he about to put one in them like blacks. But then he says, all right, look, I stole your life, when you were supposed to be going to school and all that. He's like, it's a little late for apologies. He's like, no, but I stole your life, so I'm going to give you back one life, one time. You go ahead and take everything that's below Marquette, and I'm going to take everything that's above Marquette. And he's like, all right. So then that's the end of that little conversation. Your boy Gennard snakes on to the second season. Your girl Lilliana is aired out. She's got a pneumo, which is basically, she's got blood in her lungs, it's filling up and it can't expand. But she also has the air is creeping into the lining between the lung and the pleura, and her lungs are just rapidly collapsing.
Pay attention. If you ever have anyone who's having trouble breathing and they're unconscious and you want to find out if they have a pulse, go to either side, not the middle, either side, just below the jawline, either side of the throat. Do not press on the throat. It will worsen the person's breathing problems. Just like Tommy and his CPR, don't do that at home. This has been a public service announcement.
And at this point, Tommy's like, get a car, come on, pull through. And then, so he's like, the whole situation with Ghost all over again.
When Claudia, after talking to Jannard, before they left JP's house, she realized that Tommy wasn't behind that hit on Gloria, nor did he have a reason to. As a matter of fact, Tommy was the one trying to get him out of town.
And this is more insanity, because what's happening with that piece is like, okay, she's like, you want to distribute Dahlia, so I'm gonna give you the keys and whatnot. I'm the one that makes it. I was his supplier, Tommy's supplier. So, all you got to do is just tell me what the real deal is. Why not lie like you do, Jannard?
Because I don't think he knew to the extent of everything that was going on. She was like, do you think Tommy was involved? And he was like, I don't know. I don't think so.
He talked to Mercury about it, and he was like, he didn't mention anything. He just mentioned that it was retaliation for Walter coming after the Serbs. And the reason that Walter came after the Serbs because he hired them to kill Gloria, but they didn't know Gloria was going to be with Vic.
Exactly.
So he just created that whole mess of crap and almost got his son killed. Meanwhile, they're back at the crib. You guys are trying to put something together. They, get together, put a toast to Liliana, one of the best ever to do it. Pour out a little liquor on the floor for her at the apartment and whatnot. All right, so they're all trying to figure out which way they're going to go with it. And Don is like, I'm not about that Dahlia, though. And Tommy's like, I'm not about it either. And then so Diamond's like, yeah, I don't have much here. And they circled the map, the territory of the map that he has now. And Tommy's like, yeah, but it's yours. And what's going on is we gonna get the whole map. I'm wondering, like, what does he got planned next? You know what I mean? He just stumbles into shit. So, who knows? But it's gonna be exciting. I know that much. In the meantime, we shifting over to New York. What's going on? New York is coming up. And then,
I know, right?
Your boy
Medina.
Funky Cole Medina's coming down the stairwell.
Medina.
He runs into Jenny Sullivan, and Jenny's like, oh, so I heard you're a special assistant in charge of the DEA now. Who died? And, they be busting balls up in that spot. So,
oh, my God. Yeah, they do.
Oh, really? And I heard that Cooper Sachs handed you your ass in court. And so he's like, yeah, that's funny. It was like he was both, the despicable, underhanded guy, but he was our underhanded guy. She's like, yeah, it is what it is. So she's like, all right, later. So then he heads down the hallway, more action. Blanca Rodriguez. I'm like, oh, no. Because he's already in the Ghost Book 2, Season 2. She's seen Tariq at the scene of Mecca's murder. Now she's in play. And by the way, Medina, she's like, slow down. And then Medina's like, I'm your boss now, right? She's like, whatever. She said, back in the day, I ran across one of these guys because there's all these murders happening, and several of them were heavy hitters from Dublin. And one of them I ran into before, and now he ends up back in Chicago, and he ended up getting killed. So there's a lot of connections going on there, and all these cats coming in from out of town. And so we don't really know what's going on there, but I want to get on it because I can solve this. And then your boy Funky Cole is like, hey, hold up, slow your roll. I got to have you here. So yeah, you can stay on it, but I got to have your eyes over here. And then, so she's a little frustrated, but she's still going to keep her toe in the waters. Your special agents, Vargas and Kayla, are going ahead and they're talking to Assistant United States Attorney Miriam Hyman. She's getting a report from who? Our special agents who would take their photos a little bit earlier. And they were hiding out around the CBI. And they're like, look, all this stuff is going on, all these different bodies and everything. We don't know who is really behind it. My partner here thinks that the Flyns are related to what's going on here. Kayla's like, nah, I think it's this guy. She whips out a photo of who?
Tommy, but she said he's like a ghost.
Hey, and wait a minute, that's that little strategy they got of always mentioning who?
Ghost.
To try to keep up the whole thing of
he might still be alive.
There you go. All right, and guess what? The new showrunner for Ghost Book 2 with Tariq and them, he is known for bringing back dead characters in the previous series. He said, you're gonna get it.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay, Cynthia is no longer in charge So, you know, we're going to see. I got my money on it.
We'll see.
All right. You want to put that bet up just like we talked about with the Commanders?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that too.
One bill?
One bill's fine.
All right, man. So this is a fantastic season. You know, I loved it from the beginning to the end. The last one had all the action, the comedy, the bloodshed, all the crazy stuff. No good sex scenes in that one, but, you know, it was too time to get dirty. And not in a good, dirty way, but just dirty. And I just really like how they spun all those different elements together to kind of interrelate the series.
Yeah, I think they did a great job of ending the series. I wasn't always the biggest fan near the beginning of it, but I do think that they did a great job of wrapping this up, ending it in a way in which they can kind of give Tommy's character some more storylines. You know, I think they were starting to run out of storylines because his character is just very one-dimensional. So by wrapping in New York back into it and other characters who we know from other series, it makes them able to prolong this and drag this out with some good storylines that just aren't more of Tommy going wild and shooting things up.
But he's a family man though too. Now he's a family man. It makes new element to it. And guess what? I mean, this is making it more and more likely that Tommy and Tariq gonna hook up again.
I agree.
All right, man. So this is one for the books, man. Knocked another book down. Unfortunately, like the fifth book, you know, they're gonna make us wait a little bit longer. But in June, Ghost Book 2 Season 3 is coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got lots of work to do, but we got a little break. So thanks a lot, guys. Love y'all. We did it.
Push to the next one.
We'll see you soon. Gang leader, E-Dot. So you like a blood in a crip, or you're a blip, or you're a crib? Which one is it? Choose! All right, so move.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Hi, you're on camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Edit. Hey, say happy birthday to the birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
Dill is always
Thank you, Brenda.
So let's visit Dill.
Hi, Dylan.
Hello, good to see you.
Make yourself visible for just a second, Dill. Get some FaceTime. There you go.
Hi, Dylan. Long time no see.
Yeah.
All right, now you didn't bring
Hope you guys are doing well. All right. A great blooper reel this up.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed. But you got to be on it now. Ha ha.
Unveiled the fact that Flynn had created the whole lie about Tommy being the one to put the hit out.
All right, so say unveiled again because you were rolling your eyes like Jada for a second.
So